So we're at it again. It's my first 24-hour readathon of 2022 and I'm gonna be real, I'm slightly nervous. Hello friends, I'm Rosa. Welcome to the channel. Today this is hard, okay. I'm doing a 24-hour readathon, so, well, I guess it's gonna be the entire, Today, the 14th of February, I am gonna read for 24 hours. It's gonna be my first 24-hour readathon this year. I feel a little bit rusty, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm so excited nonetheless, because, you know, I haven't really had a lot of time to read the past 2 days, so I think today's gonna be a good day for that. Yeah, I feel like my eyes are well rested from not reading at all, so we're gonna go full on crazy for the next 24 hours and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. There's a bit of a color scheme going on with my books, like I'm not gonna lie, they're all blue. I don't know, it was complete coincidence, but I'm just gonna go through the ones that I'm counting on reading. However, it could change during the readathon, you never know. If I don't feel like reading a certain book in the moment, I'll just pick out another one. But my plans are, at least, I'm gonna read a little bit of The Assassin's Blade, so like maybe 2 novellas or something. I am 1 novella into it. There's a very short one next. And then there is the one that I'm pretty sure everyone loves. Yeah, the next one is The Assassin and the Healer, but then the third one is The Assassin and the The Assassin and the Desert. Okay. Not dessert. I don't know what that was. Anyway. And I've heard a lot of good things about that one, so I'm looking forward to that. The goal is to read at least those 2 novellas, so we can scratch a little bit off of my Throne of Glass universe dreams goals for this month. Then I am also reading, and this is picked by my patrons by the way, Aristotle and Dante, the first one at least. So this is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe, which I think will be a good read a little bit further along in the readathon because this is young adult. It is also contemporary romance, so I think it'll be a little bit on the lighter side to read, at least context-wise. I have no idea. I'm also planning on reading, and this one is super exciting. I think it's very fitting for today on the 14th of February, and that is The Love Hypothesis. I think I'm actually gonna start with this one because it's an adult contemporary romance, and if I've learned anything from my previous 24-hour readathons, it's that you want to start out with the adult books because, see, during my first 24-hour readathon, the last book that I read was Ninth House, and I was tired at that point. It was difficult. So I think I'm gonna start out, not saying that this is gonna be difficult just like Ninth House, but I just think it's a good thing to start out with the adult books. So here we go. And then another patron pick, because this is the second pick for our book club, and that is Under the Whispering Door, another adult book. Do you sense a theme here? We got some contemporary romance over here, but also another romance that was not on purpose either. It's all blue as well. Whatever. Not, well, teal, I suppose. This falls under blue in my opinion. But a little bit more leaning towards fantasy, contemporary romance, I want to say. So, but yeah, this is also on my to be read throughout this 24-hour readathon. But like I said, it's all, you know, subject to change. If I suddenly don't feel like reading a specific book, I'll just choose a different one. But those are the ones that currently going into it, I'm counting on reading. So it is currently, I think it's like 12:30, 12:30 midnight. So I'm a little bit late already. We just got started. I'm already late. What's new? But I'm just gonna read until the 15th arrives and then I'm gonna go to bed. That's the plan. So let's get to it. Which ones did I start out with? I'm gonna start out with The Love Hypothesis. When I tell you that I've been waiting to read this one, I'm gonna devour this one. So that's the first one. Let's get to it. Reader's hair. Oh gosh. It's not important. I have about 100 pages left of... Wait, this camera. Give me a moment. I have about 100 pages left of The love hypothesis. This is what I need from rom-coms. Like, this is what I want. It's cute and it's funny and it's clever and I'm enjoying it so much. I've decided to tab every time, well, almost every time she describes Adam as being tall or just big in some way. Yeah, dwell on that for a little bit. And as you can see, it happens a lot, especially at the start. So I will say I'm not like, you'll hear me at the, it's funny that the 2 adult contemporary romances that I've read this month have both been based on fan fiction. Because I've also partially read, spoiler alert, by Olivia Dade, but that was fan fiction with an actual real life person, whereas this is Reylo fan fiction. Is that what you call that? Like Rey and Kylo from Star Wars? So this is a little bit more, like, I can take this. When it's fan fiction with actual real life people, that freaks me out. Although, I mean, you can kind of see who the characters are based off, but still, it's not them as people. It's not the actors as people. It's the characters as they are in the movies. So it's a little bit more acceptable for me. I just don't like reading books or fan fiction that's where the characters are based off of real life people. That just freaks me out. So, but I'll talk a little bit more about that in my reading wrap up at the start of next month. But so far, I'm really liking this. Yes, I can tell that it's a Reylo fanfic, but I'm still liking it a lot. And 100 pages left, so I figured I would just update you a little bit before going into the last 100 pages because that's usually where everything just goes really bad. So I just needed to, before I got into all the chaos, I just needed to update you. So, but it's currently 6:20. I'm reading a little bit slowly, but this is good. Yeah, I see why a lot of people recommended this and why a lot of people are loving it. Because it's just, like, this is what I want from rom-coms. So yeah, but I'll update you again when I am done with the book. I think it's only about 100 pages I'm missing. No, it's like 80. Okay, well, I'll update you in 80 pages then before we move on to the next one, which I don't know which one that'll be, but we'll see. So I'm off to finish The Love Hypothesis, which has been a good time. Yeah, so I finished The Love Hypothesis. And it hit me that I don't think I summarized it before I went into it. Maybe I just kind of assumed that everyone already knows what it's about. But essentially, we follow Adam and Olive. They're scientists. He's a professor though. Like and I think she's a grad student. I don't really understand that system because school systems in other countries don't need to know. Never learned. But yeah, he's a professor and she's a grad student. I think that's her title. Olive has a friend called An, who's very heavily crushing on a guy that Olive went on a couple of dates with. Olive is not interested in him at all, but she can't really seem to convince An that she's not interested in him. So to convince her, she decides to basically, one day she's at the school, or whatever that place is called, at their education place, whatever, with all the laboratories and all that stuff. She said that she would be on a date that day, but she sees An at the school and basically decides to kiss the first guy that she sees, which is Adam. And the two of them kind of enter this fake dating deal that's supposedly mutually beneficial as well, and that's a whole thing. So it's fun though. This is a lot of fun. There was some talk, like fancy words and stuff that I don't really fully understand, but that's also probably a language barrier for me because there's a lot of like medical terms that we don't really learn. So, but this was basically everything that I like in rom-coms. It was funny, charming, touching. Yeah, this is what you want in a rom-com. So can definitely, this was a good time. And again, I don't know if you can see the tabs now. I cut them down just because I don't like when they like stick out. But I basically decided to tab every time because Adam is described as being very tall and broad and a lot throughout the book. So it's been tabbed down it's been tabbed every time. It's quite funny. But yeah, can definitely recommend. This was also one of the 12 books that was recommended to me that I had to read throughout 2022, so I can cross this off my list now. But right now I don't really know if I want to take a nap because it's kind of getting a little bit bright outside, so I feel like I should probably nap before it gets fully bright, if you get what I mean. So like I could have some sort of sense of normalcy. Although I don't feel like I'm tired enough to nap yet, and that's a problem. This whole 24-hour readathon is always a puzzle when it comes to when do you nap. But as for the next book that I'm reading, I haven't decided. Do I want to read Under the Whispering Door, or do I want to go into Aristotle and Dante? Also, I'm trying not to speak too loudly, by the way, because it's like before 8 a.m. So I just don't want to, no complaints here, you know? Don't want to deal with them. I think maybe going into Under the Whispering Door is the smarter idea because it has a fantasy vibe to it. So it's not like full-on contemporary followed by a full-on contemporary. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I think so. But first book down, we got 2 plus extra to go. So good one to start out with though. Very good one. I am very pleased. Yes. Ardea Wallace, lead character in Under the Whispering Door, had me for a moment because he's like, and this I fully agree with. Okay, call me cynical, whatever. But there was no need for flowers. What was the point? They were pretty at first, but then they died. Leaves and petals curling and rotting, making a mess that could have been avoided had they not been sent in the first place. And I fully agree. I don't like flowers. Like, I just don't care for them. But then he continues. Idea for memo. Plants are terrible and no one should have them. Wallace, sweetie. Plants and flowers are I know flowers are plants, but plants and flowers are 2 different things. Flowers die. Plants flourish. If you just care for them. I'm sorry, but like, Wallace, no, you had me for a moment. I thought we were on the same page. But no, plants are amazing, is my point. Back to the book. Also, I think I forgot to say what this is about, but also, I don't fully know, so I'll get back to you on that one when I know. Yeah. It's 4 p.m. I am so behind my reading plans. I had to sleep for 3.5 hours because I just could not wake up. But I'm over halfway through Under the Whispering Door and I keep looking out the window. The sun's gonna go down soon, or it's kind of not present already, but it's gonna get dark soon, so I just feel like, I don't know, appreciating that it's a bit light, bright, whatever, outside still. But Under the Whispering Door. Hold on, I feel like you were a little bit close. Since I didn't really know how to summarize it before, I do know now. So this is basically about a guy who is very job driven. He's not very nice. He's just kind of, he's a little bit mean. If you've read or watched A Christmas Carol, think Ebenezer Scrooge, but a non-Christmas version. Like that's the kind of person we're dealing with in this book. And he dies. He ends up firing someone and then he dies 2 days later. So next scene, we're at his funeral. He's kind of like, what's going on? I'm dead. This is weird. And everyone's being mean about him, or yeah, well, about him, talking mean about him at the funeral, which is not what you're supposed to do at funerals. And he's shocked because why would they be so mean? There's a woman there who ends up taking him to this tea shop where there's another ghost guy and also a guy called Hugo. And then it kind of is about, his name is Wallace, by the way. It's about him trying to, well, about his journey and seeing him change, hopefully for the better, and making relationships and stuff like that. So yeah, I will say it felt very slow for a while. This is probably controversial, but I don't think I vibe with TJ Klune's humor, because it felt like at some points that this was basically just, we have this house, we put these characters in the house, and then just them talking about stuff without it actually having any effect on the story whatsoever. They're just there to talk and make jokes, and I'm like, if you don't really vibe with the humor it seems a bit pointless. But stuff is happening now. Stuff has been happening for like 40 pages at least, so we're back on track. But I did feel like for a while it was a bit pointless. Like it was a bit, okay, they're cracking jokes, fine. Also because I like when jokes are kind of just like a part of the banter while they're on a journey, you know, that kind of thing. But this felt a bit like, let's build up to this situation because I think it's funny, so I need to include it in my book, even though it has no meaning whatsoever. There's no reason for this situation to be in the book because it doesn't affect the story. I don't know if I'm making sense right now, but I've also only slept 3.5 hours. So, but anyway, story at least is picking up, so that's a good thing. But the humor, I don't know. It's weird that I don't vibe with it. Maybe I'm just not in the right headspace today. I'm still gonna finish it though. I'm still gonna look forward to House in the Cerulean Sea at some point. But yeah, just wanted to give you guys an update. So right now I'm taking a reading break because I just need to rest my eyes for a little bit. I was really hoping I could finish this by 6, but I'm still missing like 200 pages. So, or am I? No, 150. So I don't know if that's, well, if I read really quickly at least, maybe it'll be possible. Because I also want to read the entire Aristotle and Dante first book. But I'm pretty sure that one is going to be a quick read though. Fewer pages, and it's also young adult. So there's fewer words per page as well. So we'll see, but it should be doable. It should be doable. But yeah, I'm gonna take a little bit of a reading break, just for like 10 minutes. I'm gonna go see if I can find the Super Bowl performance from yesterday, the halftime show, because everyone keeps talking about it. And I want to see if it's on YouTube already, because I want to watch it. I just want to know. I don't want to be left on the outside. So that's what I'm gonna do. And then I'll come back and read a little bit more of Under the Whispering Door. Yes. I'm back in my office. It's several hours later, I think. I don't remember when I updated you. Okay, but I finished Under the Whispering Door, and luckily I feel like it picked up again towards the end. It's just like okay, so the book is about 370 pages. At least this copy is, this edition is. And I think for about, I want to say like 120, 150, it just felt like there was a lot of talk that didn't really have any substance to it. It was just kind of like, let's throw some humor in there, but it just felt kind of pointless. So that might just be my opinion. I don't know. Other people might see it in a different way. I don't know. But it did pick up again. So I enjoyed this. I think for me sometimes it's healthy to actually read books that revolve around death, because I don't have a very, like, if there's something that can cause panic attacks with me, it's thinking too much about death, which, I mean, you could argue is, I don't want to get into it. Anyway, so I think for me, it's probably healthy to sometimes read books that touches on that subject. But yeah, I enjoyed this. I hope I'll enjoy House in the Cerulean Sea a little bit better. I don't know, I just felt like something was missing, especially during those 120, 150 pages where just kind of, yeah, don't know how else to explain it, but I did like the writing style. I thought the relationships were cute, the characters were nice. So, yup. But that's the second book done in this readathon, and we got Aristotle and Dante. Number 1, Discover the Secrets of the Universe. First, or last. Still, we still have this book. I'm tired at this point, okay? I'm currently making dinner. I'm having a little bit of a reading break right now, just until my dinner is done, and then I'll go back on my couch, sit there for a little bit. But I'm counting on this maybe being a little bit of a faster read, just because like there's fewer words per page than the other 2 books that I've read, so it should be doable. So I can still read maybe one short story in Assassin's Blade. That would be nice. So, but this was picked for me by my patrons as well, along with the sequel, but I'm gonna be reading that at some point this month. So yeah, but 2 books down, so far so good, even though I am a little bit rusty and I did have to sleep a little bit more than I usually do during my 24-hour readathons, but sleep deprivation is a thing. So that's just the way it is, you know. But anyway, that's enough for this update. So I'm gonna go enjoy my food in about 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna read another contemporary romance. So I have a last update before I kind of wrap up this, or I'll do like a recap tomorrow when I'm in a little bit of a more well-rested mindset, if you will. But I finished Aristotle and Dante, Discover the Secrets of the Universe. I loved this, every second of it. This is, I think I forgot to summarize this before reading it as well, but we follow Aristotle and Dante, who are 2 boys growing up close to each other, and they kind of randomly become friends. And during this friendship, they basically start to learn a lot of things about themselves, but also just, you know, it's a coming of age story. So I don't know how to fully put that into words, but that's what it is. And it's also a story about coming out as well. So it was very touching. I feel like it also touched on some important points as well. I'm probably failing at finding the right words, but again, I've not really properly slept, so please bear with me. But this was absolutely lovely. I had not read it before, and I'm so happy that I have now. So I understand the awards all of a sudden. Still kind of annoyed by them, but understand them. So anyway, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the books, like I said, in a recap that I'm gonna record tomorrow, simply because I think I'll be in a better mindset tomorrow, a little bit more well-rested. And as for, because I still have 1.5 hours left of my readathon, I finished this a lot faster than I thought I would. I think I'm gonna chill out a little bit, because whenever I look at like a white wall or a white door in my apartment, I see text. I just see like black lines of text. So what I need to do is not read right now, but I think I'm gonna play a little bit The Witcher 3, and then when I go to bed, just read at least one short story in She's Over Here in Assassin's Blade, and that'll be it for this readathon. So we'll talk a little bit more about that tomorrow. Yes. Now I'm gonna chill, possibly fall half asleep while playing as Geralt, but you know, that's fine. It's not like you need to stay awake for all the fighting in that game, right? Okay. I'm gonna go. I feel my voice is failing me too, so yeah, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay, so I'll admit, it's not Tuesday today. It's been a couple more days. It's actually Friday. I have not had the time to sit down and talk about, like, wrap this up. I've just not had the time. So we're doing that today, even though I'm technically out of time. I have to stream. We're gonna do it right now. So I think in total, I ended up reading 3 full books. I also read, let me think, I'm currently like, I have 50 pages left of this. That's how little I have had time to read throughout this week. I'm still working my way through Assassin's Blade. Usually I read like half a book a day. There is no time. But I did manage to read a little bit of this Monday before I went to bed, so we're gonna talk about that as well. But let's focus mainly on these 3. So, The Life Hypothesis was everything I want in a rom-com. People are raving over this, and I get why they are. This is just fun and charming, a good time, like good vibes. I just really loved this. It is based on fanfiction, yeah, and I do feel a little bit uncomfortable reading fanfiction. This is why I will never read after. I just, no. But I'm kind of okay with it when it's fanfiction with 2 characters. I don't really know that much about Reylo as a ship. I also have not watched episode 8 and 9. I love The Mandalorian. I love Star Wars. It's a thing. I don't want to get into why, but it's a thing. So I don't actually know much about these 2. And I think that may also have helped me if you are kind of against fanfic and also against Reylo. You might have an issue with it, but I don't know much about the ship, so I think that definitely helped me. However, it is quite obvious that this is a very popular book. I understand why fully, because it is so much fun. I found myself laughing through certain bits. I also was smiling a lot. It's also touching at times, and I found a redhead who doesn't have freckles. And I'm like, yes, because I'm a redhead without freckles. I have not come across a redhead without freckles. Well, maybe except Amarantha. Thank you for that one. Sorry, my Ekatar books are over here. That's why I'm staring that direction. Thank you for that one, Maas. Thank you so much. But I don't count her because I don't like her. Other than that, the redheads in the books that I read always have freckles, and I'm like, authors, you know there are redheads without freckles. Come on! Jeremy doesn't have any freckles. I know I'm making this a big deal, but it is a big deal to me, okay? So I enjoyed it. This was fun. Highly recommend if you're looking for an adult contemporary romance. You know, this is one of the good ones. Then I read Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune, and this I had a little bit of a hard time with at points, not because I was tired, but just because I felt like some of the conversations that were happening in the book weren't really relevant to the story. There was a situation at some point in the book that turned out to be important later on, but I felt like it was still built up in a way that I just personally didn't find it funny. I don't know if it's just because I'm not vibing with his humor. I laughed a few times, but it was supposed to be a funny book, and I just didn't find it funny. I don't know. But you can't laugh with everyone's kind of humor, so this has a very high rating on Goodreads, but I also suspect that that might be influenced by the fact that The House in the Cerulean Sea is a very popular and very well-loved book, so I think certain fans of that book might have influenced the rating a little bit, because this doesn't feel like it should have a rating that high. I don't know what it is. I also felt like something about the ending in this one didn't have to be the way it was. And I can't speak on it because that would be spoiling it if you've not read it. I just didn't feel like the ending needed to be what the ending was. Yeah. Is that vague enough? Anyway. Some of the characters also felt a little bit superficial at times, like there weren't a lot of sides to them. However, I will say that it was very enjoyable being on Wallace's journey from being almost like a Scrooge kind of character to some other kind of character. Obviously, he has learned a few things about himself and also about other people and how the world works. So that's nice. But yeah, what else can I say? It was touching. At times, it was. I enjoyed it at times as well. I just felt like certain points were a little bit, I don't know, unnecessary, if you will. But that's it. Under the Whispering Door. And then my other contemporary romance, which is a young adult one, and it's Aristotle and Dante discover the secrets of the universe. And I loved this. This was a much faster read than I thought it was going to be, but it's also because some of the pages are literally, Aristotle and Dante have a very funny chemistry. Like, they're very quick to be quick back and forth talk. Like this. Small sentences, just a few words, so it's very quickly like back and forth, if you will. I like the two guys. I thought they were charming. I like that it touches on not just like coming of age, learning about your sexuality, but also there was talk about like they're both, and this is weird to say because I don't understand this, but like I think they're half Mexican, both of them. And would you call it half American, half Mexican? See, I don't know. I'm Danish. I don't know how you say that. But I think one of them also talks about feeling like, well, I'm not proper Mexican, but I'm not really proper this either. So it touches a little bit on that as well. Feeling lost with like, how do you say that? There's a word for it. I just can't think of it right now. So hopefully you get what I mean though. So it's not just coming of age, it's not just coming out. It's also learning about yourself, learning who you are as a person, which I suppose is also coming of age, but you know. So it was very nice seeing their journeys together, but also we follow Aristotle, not so much Dante. I mean, they're together a lot of the time, but we follow Aristotle more than Dante. It's all written from his point of view. So it was nice seeing him kind of trying to find himself as well, being in this weird age where you're not really sure, like, who are you? Because it starts out with them being 15, I think. I will say though, just a couple of trigger warnings. They're not that bad, but there is stuff happening in this book that you might want to, like, more serious stuff, stuff that I would say could be traumatic or definitely is traumatic, so look up on some trigger warnings just in case. But it's not like it's very in your face, it's not like it's very detailed descriptions and stuff, so just so you know. But it was lovely, it was very lovely, it was very touching, and I loved seeing their journey, so now I'm looking forward to reading the second one, because I also have that one. Yeah. And then for Miss Selena Sabdothian. That was such a weird pronunciation. Selena Sabdothian? Yes. Selena. I don't know what to say about these books, because I feel like this is difficult to talk about without talking about Throne of Glass, and I didn't read Throne of Glass in this readathon, so... But these are actually, I like these short stories. So I think I'm pretty sure I read the second and like half of the third one before I went to bed that day, and the short stories just keep getting better and better, so this was a nice little short read before going to bed. I'm halfway through the last one now, and it's getting a little, if you've read Throne of Glass, you'll know what I mean, because like it follows Selena's story before, like literally leading up to the start of Throne of Glass, so you kind of know what I mean. But I just love being in this universe. And I'm looking forward to picking up Empire of Storms, because the last three I've not read. I had not read this before going into it. The short stories keep getting better and better, and that's all I gotta say. So I feel like it was a successful 24-hour readathon despite me having to sleep 3.5 hours. But I feel like did good this time. Did good. So yeah, if you read any of these books and you liked them or didn't like them, let me know. Please tell me all your thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. But that is all I have for you. So I really hope you enjoyed this 24-hour readathon. There'll probably be another one in March, or if not in March, then definitely in April, because I enjoy doing these. It's kind of like an excuse to just lie and read for a long time, and I need that. Sometimes you just need to lie on the couch and read, you know? So there'll probably be another one sometime in March. So if you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and also if you're new here and you want to hang out and nerd out about books with me and everyone in the comments, consider hitting the subscribe button. But that's all, so I'm gonna go because I gotta start my stream. I'm really late, but I do hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!